Hello, everybody, and welcome to the newest Indoor Adventure in Advent, Part 7, here on Indoor Adventures, The Four Keeps. Today is September 30th, 2019, and you are loved. And we like to tell our audience that, as well as each other that, at the beginning of every show, and we do these shows on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, except this week, because our one and only Danae Keener of DanaeKeener.com is getting married this week. So we are going to be not doing some shows because we will be seeing and hanging out with each other in person for the second time in the same year. So thanks for understanding. With that, hey, today is the last day to go to bit.ly/adventure merch and go to our Streamlabs store. And doing so, you can pick up a poster like Arjan's heart meeting. You can either pick up maybe a mug that is 11 ounces or possibly the bigger Battler mug of 15-ounce fame. We have the Stompfoot Goreblast Gymnasium, tank tops, hoodies. We have all sorts of stuff that's all going to be going away tomorrow. So if you want some limited edition merch, now is the time to do so. Other than that, we also have our Patreon. So if you have already subscribed on Twitch, either using Twitch Prime or using your own real people dollars, if you already follow us on YouTube, if you already follow our audio casts, and you want to help continue support the show, check out patreon.com/indooradventures, where we are going to be putting up the rules to Ordstone, a game that I am planning on releasing as an actual game at some point. He said, you know, like a liar. And, as always, we have our after show called Nights in the Courtyard, where we answer questions not only from each other, but also from the community at large. So, if you have questions for the cast that you would like to get answered, consider checking out the Patreon. But that is it for my spiel. I realize you guys aren't in the way that you were supposed to be, but RJ, who are you playing today?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ, and I'm playing Coriander. I'm playing Caelum, the Shatterkai Cleric.
Hi, I'm LB, and I'm playing Gwen, the Halfling Barbarian Fighter!
Hey, I'm Arjan. I'm Cyber, and I play Arjan, and I'm being moved around right now, so I got real confused.
Oh, and I'm Danae. I'm going to be playing Coriander, the Elegy Paladin.
And I am the Indoor Adventurer, and tonight I shall be your Dungeon Master. So, previously on the Four Keeps, you guys had decided to finally make your way to the small halfling community of Greenreach, and upon doing so realized that somewhere out there a groundhog had seen its shadow, because a long winter seems to have taken hold over Greenreach, a completely unusual, out-of-season winter that Cori recognizes with some form of familiarity. Upon making your way into this snowy wasteland that is currently Greenreach, you were met by a young or halfling-sized individual with a long white beard and shock white hair that was riding on the back of an icy dragon, a creature that had not been seen in these realms since, well, Arathsk, and that has been it, really, for the last 1,500 years. You were able to defeat the Darrow, this halfling that has kind of been chuckling and gibbering to himself, and upon his defeat, the dragon decided to leave. But Cori, being the heroic type that she is, decided to Misty Step onto the back of this dragon and hold on for her life, and is currently being dragged through the earth. Gwen did not like this at all and decided to start digging through the loose earth to recover her friend, not knowing how far Coriander is currently going. And that is when Arjan and Caelum, you saw three light bluish-skinned female forms standing on a distant hill that seemed to look down at you, jostle their shoulders in a laughing sort of fashion, and then steadily disappear into the snowy night. your creature Rumble Thunder is your mount Rumble Thunder, rather your pack animal, met her end at the dragon. So you currently have a cart and Cybra.
Sibba?
Rumble Thunder's dead?
This is
Wasn't
news
she?
to us.
Okay,
Yeah.
she's not.
No.
I thought she was.
Damn it.
My bad. Good for her. Still kicking. Nope. Sorry, that is entirely my bad. So, now that I've got you on tilt,
God.
what would you guys like to do? Cori, you are currently being dragged through the earth. But Arjan, Caelum, and Gwen, we will pick up with you first.
There's fucking dirt out of the way, Corey. I'm coming. what I'm
Caelum's
doing.
going to hobble over to Gwen and start like tapping her shoulder.
What? What?
There was something out there in the snow. 3 of them.
More things to kill? She still see the rage in her eyes.
You can see that Caelum is bleeding out from where he's like been slashed by the dragon. I don't think we can take another fight.
Jesus, you look like shit. Can you like?
I
Dude,
can
our-
certainly try.
Where's Corey?
Did Archon see where Cori went?
Arjan, you had Misty stepped onto the back of this dragon to tackle this crazed halfling off of the back of the dragon. You would have definitely seen a one-armed Cori holding on for dear life to the back of this dragon whilst stabbing it so.
But did he see where the dragon vanished?
You saw where the dragon vanished because that is where Gwen was digging. You had both seen Cori, or at least the dragon, go into the earth. And Arjan, you would kind of put 2 and 2 together that if Cori's not around and the dragon went
okay.
below.
So Archon would be running toward the hole and trying, like, he's not thinking clearly, but he's like trying to throw stones and stuff just out.
Shit. How far is this?
And that's about it.
Okay. Okay. First off, and Caelum's going to just sit down, center himself, and he's going to start ritual casting Locate Object, focusing on Cori's armor.
Okay. And Locate Object is up to how many feet?
1,000.
You feel a pull. You definitely still have, you are able to maintain a steady beat on on the direction that Cori's armor is currently traveling. And you feel it moving at a rate of 40 feet per second. But it's deep under the ground. Or 40 feet per round. Sorry, not second. Different speeds entirely. I've been moving a lot in my real lifetime, so like, I'm sorry,
Okay.
I didn't mean to accidentally kill your beast.
Wait,
It's
is
not
Rumble
dead.
Thunder?
No,
Okay,
not
cool,
dead.
cool.
Again, I'm tired. It's okay.
It's fun. It's alright, babe. I've got a lock on her, but she's really deep underground.
How do we get her? She can magic her way out, right? Like she poofs places.
So I did a thing in the Dendar world where I acid breathed a hole through stuff. I can get 60 feet down, maybe. I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Can I get the stones to make a dex save?
They fail because they have no dex. They're rock.
Okay.
Or are they?
Unless.
Blessed.
13.
Okay.
13 acid. How far does 13 acid get me?
13 acid, it shoots the full 60 down into the ground.
She's so much deeper than that.
Dude, I'm so glad we didn't make out.
At this point, with the direction that you know where the dragon is burrowing, Cori is roughly 240 feet away from you, as well as down.
She's getting further away. Like, she's really far away. And Caelum's just racking his brain. Shit. Gwen would know this area, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Arjan's just following up with the Eldritch Blast, hoping that it's gonna poke a hole.
Do you know if there's any, like, cave systems around here or something?
Do I know if there's any cave systems around here or something?
So you know that there is what is called as the burrows. And what the burrows are is that in Halfling society, when dangerous things ended up coming towards Greenreach, such as large Goliath collectives, the Halfling societies would actually go into a series of tunnels beneath the hills themselves to hide out and wait for whatever forces were coming to just leave. Really, it was much more of a we can bide our time. We are much longer lived than most other groups.
Okay. Yeah, there are like burrows around here.
Okay, we can get closer to her if they travel further enough underground. If not, we can try to punch a hole through.
How do we get to the barrows?
She kind of like gets her bearings. Is it still a whiteout?
It is very much still heavily snowing. Could I get you to make a survival check? And this is going to be with disadvantage because of the snow.
Okay, I can do that. I'm prepared. D&D Beyond.
D&D Beyond.
DanaeKinner.com.
Oh, natural 20!
Womp, 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 womp. What's the second dice?
Was a 9.
Okay. Sounds good. So
You said a disadvantage, not an advantage, right?
that is correct.
Shit! I was like, yeah! Oh.
Okay, so with your 9, it's been a while since you've actually been to Greenreach, and moving around, it seems like there's just something weird. Like your internal sense of navigation just feels off. You know that the last entrance that you remember hearing about is found at Salmon Bend, which is a more notable crossway along the Halfling roads. But from where you are, at least from where you remember being, it's still going to be potentially several hours of travel.
No, guys, there's nothing around here. When she dies, she just goes to the Feywild, right? That's how it works.
Who told you that?
I don't know. That's how it works with like fiends and stuff. Isn't the Feywild the same thing?
Only
No.
if you're summoned. If
Can we
she
summon her?
physically-
Can we summon Cori?
I don't have that high level spell.
We don't know Cori's true name, do we?
Yes, we do.
Well, fuck. I don't know what to do, guys. Summon group mom.
Alright, Caelum's gonna tap Gwen. She heals 8 points of HP. Taps Arjan. He heals 11.
Okay.
And then I tap myself in public.
Rude, dude.
Oh. 19. Cool. That's damage. Yeah.
Okay. So, you are healing Gwen, you are healing yourself, you are trying desperately to break a hole into some sort of tunnel that is below. So, yes, Caelum.
I'm gonna summon spiritual weapon and just have it keep going off on these rocks.
Okay. Make a nature check.
Oh, okay. Before I summon or after?
After you summon it, as you kind of continue to break at it.
+2, 16.
So, what you know about burrowing creatures is that on occasion, they will leave tunnels behind them to show where they've gone. Otherwise, what typically happens is that soil gets just kind of shifted from behind where this creature would be going.
Basically falls back into place.
It falls back into place as sort of just getting tunneled around. And the more that the three of you continue to beat onto this stone, onto this dirt, the stronger feeling that you're getting that is something that this dragon was doing. Not necessarily leaving a tunnel behind it, but it seems to just have been burrowing.
And by the time this happens, is Coriander off my radar for...
By the time
looking
this
object?
happens, she is roughly 700 feet away and still gaining.
The spiritual weapon drops. She's gonna leave the radius soon.
So what can we do? What can we do, guys?
Came here to do. Destroy the waystone.
We're just gonna leave her?
Caelum.
What? Mm-hmm.
At 850 feet, the signal stops.
Like, disappears off the blip or is
Stops.
He slaps both Arjan and Gwen.
Ow!
The signal stopped. Sorry, Arjan. I didn't hear you.
What does that mean?
Her armor is still there. It's paused. The creature must have stopped moving, or she let go at some point. We just have to find a way down.
Alright, the closest place is like a couple hours away.
And this is when we are going to shift over to Cori. Cori, you are holding on to the back of this dragon, and you are getting just shunted through the earth. As this loose soil continues to wash up against you, you feel rocks and tree branches and other just debris that is located beneath the soil coming up and peppering you. Over the course of the next 10 minutes, as you manage to hold on, you are going to be taking a total of 18 points of damage.
Bludgeoning?
It is bludgeoning, and this is all from separate
Great.
sources. I already did the maths for it on my end.
You already did the reduction and
Yes.
everything? Okay.
Otherwise, it would have been much more deadly.
Yeah, what up?
But what happens is you eventually feel all of that debris cease. And as you open up your eyes again, looking around, you are in an underground cavern. That's walls have large blue icicle crystals just sort of hanging from the side walls. And as you shoot out onto the back of this dragon, it is going to then twist up and try and swipe at you with its arm. It is going to then make an attack against you and gets a 21.
Yep, totally hit.
And you are going to take 14 points of slashing damage.
All right, reduced to 11. I have 2 hit points left.
Okay. Make an acrobatics check.
All right. Come on, baby. You were rolling so hot last week. You said acrobatics?
Yes.
18.
Okay. You are still on the back of this beast. What would you like to do?
I sure would love a lay on hands. How's that? What do you think of that?
Yeah,
Is that
you can
a-
totally
is
lay
that
on
a
hands
feasible
yourself.
thing? I would love to. I have not had a short rest, so I definitely do not have my face up. Yeah, I'm gonna lay on hands myself for 30 hit points. And that
Okay.
is all of them.
Sounds good. So then do you have a bonus action?
No.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing. In order to lay a hand upon myself, I only have one of those. And if I were using that to hold on to the dragon,
Okay.
then I will let you infer as the DM what happens from there.
Okay. So as you go to lay on hands, it feels the sense of contact of your hand being able to either hold on to it, or had you like stabbed Moonlight's edge into its back and were using that as kind of like a maneuvering piece?
I think that, yeah, I mean, when we last left off, she was just jabbing that thing in there, so...
Okay. I need you to make an acrobatics check at disadvantage as it tries to shake you off of its back.
Okay. Oh, natural 1.
So as you heal yourself, you get flung off. Your sword is still in its back.
Ooh.
And it swivels its head towards you, and its mouth begins to open up, and you see that there is this bright whitish energy coming up from its gullet as it opens its mouth towards you. Make a Constitution save.
Okay. 17.
Okay. That is enough to succeed. Which is good. You take 36 points of cold damage.
Oh, okay, down.
Cori, what are your last set of thoughts as this dragon opens up its mouth? It is a slow-mo mode. It is like time seems to slow down for you.
She's thinking to herself she needs to get her sword. And then as she starts to slow, she thinks it's so cold. And just before she loses consciousness, she thinks, I can't die.
Okay. So that is when this blast of cold strikes against you, and you feel as ice just washes over your form. There are partial moments of recognition, of knowing that you are frozen, as the cold doesn't bother you at this point. It is just the fact that you are stuck in this position, and you watch as this large creature lumbers over, rears up a claw, and strikes against you. And the last thing that you hear is a shattering sound. Your vision goes dark, and you hear the fluttering of wings. And from the darkness, you see like creatures moving in front of a source of light. Text in Elven appears that just seems to hover and begins shaking. And the text says, "Will we all become forgotten? I need you to roll a d10 for me."
Oh. Okay. Put that in the dice tower where it belongs. 1.
You see and feel for a brief moment what it was like to be one of the original Eladrin. In the times that have gone past, this was one of your favorite things to dream of. They were a ranger. They would travel through the Feywild and communicate as best they could with the creatures, with the land. And it was one of those things that brought this figure joy. This was their happiness, was existing in the Feywild and experiencing the wonder that this land of nonsense had to offer. And as you feel that memory wash over you, there is another fluttering of wings, and it is gone. Let us move back to Arjan, Caelum, and Gwen. What are the three of you doing?
We have to find her, right?
Yeah,
Can't-
but we don't have anything to get that deep right now.
And we're on a time limit.
Are we?
Yes.
Listen, if the forces of winter break through the Waystone,
Then we're fucked.
yes,
Everyone is fucked.
but also we can't leave Coriander behind. So,
All right. I know this sounds stupid, and it's technically correct, but I swore to Cori that I was going to help her do this. So I think we have to go do this. We have to go close the Waystone.
Cori will find a way out. I'm sure.
She has to.
she always finds her way back to us.
And we make our way to Greenreach.
Yeah. Keep going north.
Are you following the point of Cori's armor, or are you going...
Didn't it go straight down?
It does not go straight down. It was at an angle, moving north by northeast.
Yeah, we'll go that way.
That's toward Greenreach, right?
Yes, it is still towards
Okay.
Greenreach. The area of Greenreach, while there aren't any like metropolises or large central hubs, it is a series of communities. So currently you are in the lands of Greenreach, and then Greenreach itself is owned by a series of families, not necessarily a central governing body. But yes, so you make your way towards the direction that you know where Cori's armor is. And it takes you the better part of 40 minutes, closer to an hour, to actually arrive at this place. Mostly, Caelum, do you have mending?
Yes.
There was a decent bit of time spent to mend the bits of the of your guys' cart that had been damaged due to this dragon's attack. But luckily, you were able to get it fixed and begin heading your way out. After, as you were reaching close to the point where you know that this armor is, you enter into a small wooded area. Gwen, this is actually relatively near where you remember playing as a child.
Okay.
And as you continue to walk, you hear fluttering sounds. And looking up, you can see as ravens are beginning to land on the tree branches.
Are ravens common in this area?
You know that they're partially common. They never stay around for winter, and they don't seem to typically rest on branches in a series of ravens and look down at travelers as they progress through a wood.
Solid. Gwen's gonna stand up on the front part of this cart, and she's gonna say, "Hey, fuck you, ravens! All right, this one's ours, okay? Fuck the fuck off." She's pointing at Caelum.
And the ravens all look down, and they look over towards Caelum, and you see one of them just rustles their feathers a little bit, and then hops off and flies onto another branch and goes up, rustles their feathers up to another one, and they begin to kind of rustle together.
Swear to fucking Christ, I will use my...
We have a hooded caravan, right?
You do.
Caelum's like with Gwen, and you can see the collection of a guiding bolt in his hand as he stares at the one that's ruffling its feathers.
Do it.
Intimidation check.
Make an intimidation check.
I hope.
Yeah, I'll give you advantage.
Yes.
I should use the Caelum.
I'm intimidating.
Thanks,
I'm
God.
light.
It would have been a 19, but it's an 18.
Okay. Yeah. So the one that was ruffling its feathers just sort of like hops a little bit back and then just kind of ruffles again and then seems to look towards you.
Don't have an AoE spell.
Nah, I got it. If they start flocking, I got my... She pulls out her mace. I got it under control.
Caelum's gonna keep the shield close by him, but not like in view.
Okay. So, as you guys progress down towards where you know the armor to be, what instead you see is a large cove in the forest itself, just kind of this open clearing at the base of a hill. And following what you believe to be the signal from Cori's armor, you instead look over and you see that there is a raven that has a shard of blue in its beak that it just sort of seems to be kind of clutched, and it hops forward and sets it onto the ground and then flies away. And you see as other ravens begin to do the same thing, each with a small shard of blue in their mouth. And as one begins, sets it down, flies away. Another sets it down, flies away. Until after 5 minutes or so, you see that they have set out a humanoid shape lying on the ground. And you can see covered in ice is Coriander.
Oh, fuck, Kayla, get her!
Caelum's going to Blessing of the Raven Queen over to her.
As you blessing over towards Cori and look down, there is a flash of this deep, vibrant red light that begins at the base of Cori's neck and then stretches down to past her navel, and there is a opening. A kind of cone of light shoots out from this, and you hear the fluttering of wings as a very large, deep, reddish-colored raven shoots out from this area, leaving behind a red string with it. And you watch as this red string reaches where originally loose, a point of tautness begins to fray, and with a snapping sound, flies upward.
Indor, what the fuck?
What is Caelum? Get away from it!
The
Gwen
light
jumps down.
The light disappears. The ice melts away from Cori's form. Cori, you may have taken a short rest during this time. As the experience that you have is that after you experience the brief life of this Eladrin Ranger once more, you felt your consciousness get small, and then you felt a breaking. That there was a point of escape, almost like you had been jailed by some all-encompassing force. And these little cracks and breaches of light let you spread your form wide until eventually you could find yourself sailing through what you believed to be your focus, your drive for wanting to continue to live, whether or not it was to find the seasons or simply to get your sword back. You followed this thing, and you have found yourself once more in your form on the snowy ground with your friends looking over you.
Is this a startling experience?
Almost certainly. The last thing that you almost remember was being this other Eladrin for a brief moment.
Okay.
Is she naked?
She is wearing her armor. She does not have her sword.
She sits stark up, just. Where's my sword?
I don't. What the fuck? How'd you get here?
She'll stagger to her feet and just kind of like stumble off into the snow and fall over.
Oh Jesus! D&D Jesus.
Fair.
Gwen's gonna go try and help her up. Cori, you just the ravens with blue string.
Does Arjan know what
How
happened?
long was I out?
Like 40 minutes. Ish.
It was that short?
Arjan, make a Blood Hunter bullshit roll.
Cori, the ravens created you out of fucking blue ribbon, and then you were ice, and then this beam of light shot out of your chest, and this red raven came out with a string, and then it snapped, and then you were fine.
Was that a 25 or a 7?
7.
A 7?
That was 7.
Okay. As far as you can tell, Cori was created back for you by ravens, it would appear.
Does he see this effect as particularly fey in origin?
This is a combination of celestial and undeath.
Okay.
I think fine is kind of a relative term.
You do you have all your fingers still? And I mean, as many as you had going in.
All 5. She says, counting fingers.
What the hell happened?
I think the dragon took me somewhere, and
It wasn't a dragon.
whatever it was made of snow, I think. It's got my sword still. I need that sword back.
I mean, we could try
Is
to go
everyone
back
all
and...
right?
Yeah. I mean, like, we're fine.
Rumble Thunder, where's Rumble Thunder?
He's alive.
fine.
She's right
She-
there.
Oh, good.
Do you want to try to go back and get your sword? Or,
Go back where?
I don't think we have a lot of time.
We have to close the gate, Cori.
No, you're right. This takes precedence.
Do you need an extra sword? Because I don't have one. You could use my mace, I guess.
I have my old one still. Or unless I sold that. I might have sold that.
I have some daggers.
Or I have a javelin. I have 2 javelins.
No, of course, I kept it because my father made it for me, and it's very important to me.
All right,
Shit,
well, let's
you
keep going,
That
guys.
was my good sword.
As Cori passes by Caelum, he puts a hand on her shoulder, spins her around, and slaps her.
Ow! Okay, actually, that ow was out of character. She's gonna take a moment to process that. Caelum, what's wrong?
You keep doing the stupidest things. And it is endangering, well, of course it's endangering your life, but it's also like, okay. Is everything okay up there, guys? Sorry, my neighbors upstairs are moving.
Oh, is that them? Oh my god. Okay, continue.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's what happens at 3 a.m.
For the audio cast, we're complaining about RJ's upstairs neighbors.
Where was I?
And for everyone else, actually. Okay. Back in.
You've died once already. And you just keep doing things that... Do I know that she was certainly dead at that point? Because she was shattered from what I saw.
Make an Arcana check. Or a religion check.
It's the same number. 22.
Okay. Were you making it with Arcana or religion? Because that determines how you know the information.
Arcana. I've probably been dipping too far into that already.
Okay. So, there are aspects of what happened that you remember seeing more or less outlined in the Hag's spellbook that you received during the Santar adventure, where there seems to be some elements of necromancy involved. As far as the process with which it happened, you feel like it is closer to either a regeneration spell or some other means of reviving a figure that has lost their essence, that you would just need the barest bits for. As for what a lot of the fanfare and show works were with regards to the Red Raven coming out of Cori's wound, you aren't inherently sure. But it looks like there was a resurrection process that had occurred.
I don't know what happened down there, but you came back fucking shattered.
You lost your arm.
Thank you, Gwen.
I'm just adding. I'm helping. Go.
For all intents and purposes, we are going through the shit right now. And I know I'm guilty of causing some of that problem, but compounding on it and worrying everyone here, including myself, is not helping.
She listens, completely straight-faced, and just kind of takes a moment, looks down at her hand again. I'm genuinely sorry. Dragon.
Could you repeat that? You froze on my end.
Okay. I really tried to get off that dragon. But I know that I have not been cautious in the past. And my decisions affect more than just me. And she'll turn around and regard Gwen and Arjan as well and say, I'm sorry.
But that is a thing that we all should probably say.
Right.
That we all run headfirst into danger and don't really take into account what our actions happen to everybody. Everybody take a healing potion.
Yeah, thanks. I apologize for when I said I wouldn't overcharge things and do it anyway. It's been fine recently, but like I think I'm pushing my luck.
Well, it's very great of you guys to apologize for those things. I think that we've all grown as a group. We've all acknowledged our faults. At least some of them. I'm fucking cold. Can we keep going?
Yeah.
I assumed we were walking and talking.
Mm-hmm.
I always assume walk and talk. Unless you
Everybody-
guys are like, I sit down to have this conversation.
No, we are doing it here, and this is the hill I'm gonna die on. Literally.
Everybody took a potion of healing?
Yes.
Good, because I marked 3 off of my inventory.
Thanks, Dad.
Yep, keep going.
All right, so Gwen, make another survival check.
Disadvantage again?
Yes.
5. Ooh, that was almost a 1. Survival is a 8.
Okay. So you still don't feel like you are really making headway on where you planned on going. It's been, again, years since you've been here. And all things considered, at this point, you're sort of just following the river. You know that there's at least one river that goes through the Thimblefishes. So if you just follow a river, it's bound to lead to the one that you need it to lead to. So as you are all making your way, it is getting late into the evening.
Sorry.
I would like for you all to make perception checks.
Natural 1.
6.
Fuck. I shouldn't have put my dice away.
17.
21.
Nice. All right, so Cori, you and Gwen hear this. Arjan, you and Caelum do not. But our Eladrin and our Halfling, as you are all walking, off in the distance, you hear. And as you kind of take stock of this noise, from behind you, not 20 feet away, your very own Cybra, just wanting to join into the howl of this pack.
I don't remember there being wolves up here. At least not this far up.
Are there wolves on the Isle of Winter?
Are there?
Or wolf-like type
Make
things?
an Arcana or a History check, Cori.
Oh, both are the same for me. 13.
Okay, so 13, you remember that there was a breed of intelligent wolves that did actually live out in the Winter Isles that you remember were just aptly called winter wolves.
Uh-huh. Would I happen to be able to tell the difference between a mundane wolf call and a winter wolf call?
You would, typically, because winter wolves have their own means of language. They usually speak either common or winter wolf. So even their howl does have a little bit of a different styling to it. And with your perception, you were able to tell that there was the call of a winter wolf within the howls.
But not all of them.
Not from what you were able to tell, no.
Okay. Winter wolves.
Yes, it is winter and they are wolves. Is that like, is there more?
Native to the Feywild.
Oh,
in the
fuck.
In the winter wastes. They're intelligent.
Right. Let's hope they haven't laughed at any jokes recently.
Okay. We need to find a place to, like, go inside and warm up. There's no way we're going to get a fire going.
How close are we to Greenreach? Can we make it like soon?
Yes.
But that's
Gwen
not
is
something we wanna
tentatively
do.
yeah, she's not super confident in that.
I don't know if we have enough time.
All right, but I don't know how long it's going to take us to get to where. I don't even know where we're going. To be honest, I don't know where this waystone. I mean, Greenreach is fucking huge. It's like a whole civilization of halflings. It's not like a city. Cori, where's your thing pointing?
What?
Your skull. Where's it pointing?
Oh. I check the direction my skull is.
At this point, the skull is pointing to the northwest. Not a full northwest, but just ever so slightly between northwest and true north.
Is that the direction of Greenreach?
We're in Greenreach.
Okay, so Greenreach is more of a large area. Greenreach is like Montana.
Yes.
There are several places within, but okay. Great. I point which direction the skull is pointing.
All right, Thunderbutt, let's go.
All right, so you begin to follow Cori's necklace, and along the way, you hear the sound of howling again, and it seems like it is getting closer. And Cybra instinctively howls back.
Should we stop her from doing that? She might give away
Should
our...
probably stop her.
Alright. Hey, kiddo. Hey. Who's a good girl? I'm gonna need you to be quiet for a little bit, okay? Can we... Yeah. It's okay. They're not friends. They're not friends. They're bad dogs. Yeah.
We don't associate with bad dogs and a dewy girl.
And
She's a very intelligent dog.
and as you guys are having this brief aside with Cybra, I would like for you all to make perception checks.
13.
21.
20.
8. It's swapped.
Okay, so Gwen, you do not hear this. Cori, you hear the sound of snow crunching somewhere near you. Arjan, you and Caelum can see that there are shadows that are moving in the woods besides your cart amidst this snow. And as you are looking out, you see that they are lengthier looking forms, in the same way that your pet wolf Cybra is. It seems like there are a multitude of wolves that are running around your current area, just sort of maintaining track. And that is when you see that there is a large shadow that seems to be moving through the woods as well. And at this point, there is a form that leaps out onto the road, and it is this large white furred creature that looks like a wolf, if a wolf was much larger than it was supposed to be. You see that there is this blue frost that is leaving from its mouth, and there is a kind of gray weathered skin looking halfling over its back that is wearing these wraps across his face and has a hooked spear in one hand and just a handful of fur on the actual back of this wolf. They are wearing a leathered cap that has two little pointy bits kind of coming from the top of it. And it seems like they are very much geared up for this wintry weather, more so than you all are. And as you approach, this wolf is going to open up its mouth, and a cone of cold is going to shoot out from it. So I would need everybody to make a dex save for me as we roll into initiative.
Then 10 feet of me, +3.
Oh, good. Hey, Steven,
Yeah.
you know what happens when I roll a dex check?
Always get you nat one, boy.
Oh, wait, no, it's not 0. It's 3.
Oh boy. That's not too shabby.
That's not too bad.
Okay,
Yes,
so
it
I'm
is.
here to help you.
Cori, what'd you get?
I got a 21.
Okay, Caelum got a 3. Gwen, what did you get?
13.
Arjan?
For the initiative or the deck save?
Initiative.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry.
Oh.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
We'll
I
do.
thought
This is deck save. We'll do deck save and then initiative, just so that way
Okay.
we're all on the same track.
Do we get paladin bullshit?
Yes.
Yes.
What is paladin bullshit?
+3.
+3.
+3 to saves.
16.
14.
Okay. So sounds good. All of you except for Caelum save.
Surprise.
God damn it.
All right. So
Hey
That-
guys, remember that Caelum has 3 levels of exhaustion?
Yeah, I've been rolling everything at disadvantage. I've just been getting really lucky
Just-
up till this point.
that is 16 points of cold damage.
that's like everything I healed back earlier. Alright.
All right. So, initiatives, please.
Is this one of those things where we have it, or is it?
Have what?
Is this have the damage? Do we?
Yes.
save
If
or-
you succeeded, then it's half damage.
Okay.
And
And
that
I'm-
damage was
16.
Yes.
Oh,
okay,
So
it's-
everybody who saved takes
So
8.
you take.
okay. I forgot how to play
we roll
D&D.
initiative.
Ice Wolf
Oh, natural
Scurry.
20.
Nice.
17.
10.
9.
Puts me at a 21, actually.
And Arjan, what'd you get?
17.
Okay, sounds good.
Just a refresher. What's the blood dice right now?
I used it
Oh, you used it. Okay. Right on the. Yeah,
on the Mind Spike.
yeah.
Yeah, you can talk to me. I've rolled my blood die.
I was just asking. I was just asking.
Okay, so.
Poke it up, poke it up, poke it up, poke it up.
Okay, so. First off is going to be Cori. What would you like to do?
Ugh. She is going to try and reach a central spot with her friends. And she's going to say, "Stay close to me." And she's going to cast Bless on all of them. All my friends get to add a D4 to attack rolls and saving throws. And then she's just going to stay there because that's an action, and all of my bonus actions are for moving around. So
Alrighty.
let's not do that.
Sounds good. So, next up is the large white wolf and rider, and they are both going to come up onto the side of the cart, and they are going to attempt to strike out towards you, Gwen, as you are the one who is currently attempting to drive said thing. All right, so he's going to try and do a bite. The big old wolf is. So that is going to be a 23 to hit. And then that is going to be 10 points of piercing damage. And I need you to make a strength saving throw.
+3, and also Bless.
And you muted.
I saw the thing pop up. Right, +3. 17.
Okay, so you are not knocked prone by this creature's bite.
Math. I had to add 4 things instead of just 2.
Hoo-wee. And then the rider is going to try and get you with their hooked spear. That is a 17 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. He is actually going to choose to deal no damage to you, and is instead going to knock you prone.
Bitch.
And is just going to pull you off of the off of this cart onto the ground. And you see that the lower jaw on this figure that is again under wraps is just kind of moving almost in a chattering way, and you can hear that there is just a babbling coming out of this figure's mouth.
Gross.
All right, so then next up is Arjan.
Bonus action, light the crossbow. And then I'll take some attacks on the wolf. I don't like this indoor. Natural 20 on the second one. So
Okay.
That's cool. What does the 17 get me anything?
17 totally hits.
Sorry, 20.
Also hits.
Oh my god, I got a natural 24 actually.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp.
9 piercing, 2 fire on the first attack.
Okay.
9 piercing, 4 fire on the second.
Okay, so that is a total of 25. Which sounds good. All right, so
That's my turn.
then next up, another one of these wolf rider combos is going to come out of the woods. This is not a winter wolf that it seems to be riding. This is just a regular sized wolf. And they are going to make their way over towards you, Arjan, seeing as how you now have a flaming weapon towards them. And the wolf is going to try and do a heckin' bite towards you. And that is a 23 to hit.
Sure.
Okay. And then they are going to deal 7 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength save.
+3, right?
Yes.
Wait. 11.
Okay.
How much piercing?
It was 7 points of piercing.
Good. Got it.
Okay. And then you are not knocked prone. Next up is the rider, who is going to try and use their hook spear, but they seem to kind of go wide. They're not really sure how to use it on a creature such as yourself, Arjan. Next up is going to be another one of these riders who is also going to come out of the woods, bringing the total that you guys see before you to 3. And they are going to rush up onto Gwen, seeing as how she is currently on the ground. And they are going to try and make quick work of your halfling companion. That is a 14 to hit.
Yep, that's my AC.
Okay. Sounds good. So this wolf ends up dealing 6 points of piercing damage against you. And then the rider is going to rear up with their spear and try and stab out against you. But they do not. This rider sucks. So don't even worry about it. Next up, Caelum, what would you like to do?
Caelum turns to Cori and goes, "Hey, remember when I yelled at you about doing something stupid?"
Don't.
Jumps off the cart and lands next to Gwen, and he's going to tap her using a 4th level, not a 5th. He's not overcharging. Calm down. The stupidity is now there's 2 people next to him.
That's fine. That level stupid I can handle.
That looks. Oh, there's so many 8s. 8, 16. Oh, wait, that's another 8. I can math. 27 points of healing to Gwen. And then interact objects, spear, shield. Please don't hurt me.
Okay.
That's it.
Sounds good. So, Gwen, next up it is your go. You have been knocked on the ground, attacked by some wolves and some of these crazed halflings, and Caelum has jumped down to heal you.
Solid. Gwen is going to shift away from Caelum. 11 feet away from Caelum. And she is going to use her beautiful, beautiful new Sunforger and cast Misty Step. So
Wait, what?
I need this.
No, thunder.
Oh,
your
sorry,
knuckles.
Thunder Step. Thunders. Oh yeah, my gauntlets. They're my gauntlets. They're not my Sunforger. Sorry.
Yeah.
I was
With the
confusion.
hammer.
I'm confusion.
Wait, is that gonna hurt us?
No, that's why I moved away from Caelum.
Okay.
So they need to make a Constitution saving throw. Everyone within 10 feet of me.
Okay. What is the save DC?
Oh, that's a good question. 14.
Okay.
Oh,
They all fail.
Solid. So Gwen is going to rage. And then she's going to activate her gauntlets and just say, "Catch me if you can, fuckers!" And then she just disappears, and then a thunderous boom. And they take 22 damage
ooh.
Ooh, okay.
as there's just a
Nice.
cacophony of sound coming from where she was.
Okay, so the two riders and the two wolves that were aggressing you, as you say, "Catch me if you can, fuckers." The quartz that was jammed into the knuckles of these gauntlets begins to glow, and you watch as little streaks of electricity begin hopping between the gems themselves as this charge begins to take hold of you, and your body effectively turns into a streak of lightning that zips to its location, and as you arrive, that is when the sound of the sound barrier ends up breaking behind you in the traditional way that lightning and thunder typically follow. In doing this, you watch as blood begins to pour out of the two halfling riders' ears as they end up falling over. The wolves seem to shudder and also drop. It looks like 22 was a lot for creatures without very much health and who have low saves.
Shit. Awesome!
And they are no longer moving. So, as you say, "Catch me if you can, fuckers," and then go towards this new place, you watch as two more of these wolves end up coming out from the woods with riders, and one of the riders is going to try and hook you with his spear. That is a 15. And they're going to
15 hits.
choose to knock you prone.
Do it.
And then the wolf that he is riding atop is also going to try and do a bite against you. That is a 12, though, so that is not going to hit. And then the second rider is going to rush up to you, Caelum. And the wolf is going to try and do a bite against you. That is a 16, which I do not believe.
Nope. It does.
Oh, okay.
I have an AC of 15.
Okay. So this wolf ends up actually doing a heckin' bite against you for a total of, 10 points of piercing damage. This wolf got max. And I need you to make a strength save.
18.
Okay, so
Actually-
you do not fall prone.
And for those of you listening, yes, that wasn't at disadvantage. I rolled a natural 20 and
Okay.
then an 18.
And then the figure with the spear on its back is going to try and stab out against you. It is not successful in what it sought to do. The last of these wolf riders ends up coming out and is going to try and do the same thing as well, Caelum. You'll have two wolves on you. And the wolf itself got a 21 to hit. So you're going to be taking 9 points of piercing damage, and I need you to make a strength save.
That's even worse. 4.
Okay. You are knocked prone as this wolf rips your leggy out from under you. It is going after your bean leg.
Motherfucker.
To be fair. And then the rider is going to try and stab you while you are on the ground, and he succeed with a 25. So that is then going to be for 6 points of piercing damage.
Cool.
All right, so Cori.
One more. Oh.
Yes. All right. So, from my count, there is 1 winter wolf, 2 wolves, and 3 riders left. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And there are the two mundane wolves are on Caelum right now.
Yes.
All right. Cori's gonna. Follow-up question: do I know if I would be able to communicate with the winter wolf?
You believe that you might be able to.
With Elven, Sylvan, or speak with animals? Any one of those options.
Your best bet would be Sylvan, as this is technically not an animal.
Wonderful. Okay. I considered that. So Cori's going to point at the winter wolf and say, take that one alive. And you could very well misinterpret that as pointing at the halfling, but she is pointing at the wolf. And she's going to face step over to those wolves that are on Caelum, and use her revenant step on one of them, just sucking up 3 hit points from one of them.
Okay. You actually gain 6.
What? Is that because I'm a higher level?
No.
I know why.
Oh boy. Oh butts. Oh shit. Oh, I don't know if I like that. Okay. I do that. So yeah, as she disappears, like, I like whenever she does a face step, like she has like the 2 portals open up, and like spit out like whatever elemental confetti is related to her current form, you know, whether it's leaves or flowers, and in this case it's raven feathers, and it just like needles into one of the wolves, and she appears there and like looks like surprised at how refreshed she is, and then she's going to try and bring her sword down on it. Oh, natural 20.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp.
Bwomp, 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 bwomp. Okay. Gotta remember how natural 20s work nowadays. I'm gonna use a first level spell
Yep.
slot on. I don't need it, but I would have done it anyway. So here it comes.
This is just on a wolf, or is this the winter wolf?
This is on a wolf.
Okay.
Was the winter wolf next to him?
The winter wolf is not.
Okay. Yeah. So it is on a wolf. So that's going to be 11 slashing damage. And oh god, okay. 26 radiant damage.
Well, it was just a wolf, so definite
I
overkill
know.
on that one. There is a brief flash of light, but the thing that you notice, Cori, is that typically when you perform your smites, while in moon form, you'll see that there is a silvered outline to your blade as you swing down. As you swing this time, it's almost like there are black flames that are wreathing the outline of your sword as you bring it down onto this wolf.
Great. Wonderful. Thanks. And I have nothing. Oh wait, I have a second attack. Sorry, I forgot what
The
it's like
writer
to-
is startled, by the way. He was on top of a wolf not 6 seconds ago.
There's like the blipping outline
yeah.
of a missing wolf.
Yeah, there's a moment where Coriander kind of acknowledges that just happened, and she's gonna unpack that later. And on the backswing, she's gonna try and get the rider. Like she just brought the sword down on the wolf; it's dead. And then she's going to, as she's pulling it out of the wolf, she's gonna try and get the rider on the backswing. Oh, and she probably doesn't because 11.
11 does not hit.
Cool. Miss.
Okay.
End turn.
Sounds good. So, there is this moment, Cori, where you miss after you had kind of been taken aback by the flames wreathing your sword. And as you look back up, you see that this figure's eyes go wide and they bring their spear up to try and strike it out against you. as an arrow plants itself directly into the neck of this halfling figure, who then stops and then collapses down onto the ground, no longer moving.
Where did that come from?
It is now time for the Winter Wolves. And they are going to try and come around towards you, Arjan, and attempt to do a heckin' bite towards you. That is a 21 to hit. It's good? Okay. Sounds good.
I are muted.
Gotti. Let's see it. So,
This was the regular wolf, right?
this was a winter wolf.
A winter wolf
This
or
was
the winter
the
wolf?
winter wolf.
Cool.
Ice cold.
I got a
For a
reaction
total
coming.
of 9 points of piercing, and you need to make a strength save.
Okay, you know what? In return, I also need it to make a dex save.
It got a 16.
Do I got paladin bullshit?
Yes, you do.
24.
Okay. So yeah, it takes 12 points of damage.
Wait, what?
Right? Or was your spell save 24?
My save was 24.
Oh,
I
yeah,
I don't think I go prone. No.
Not
I
at all.
I need to roll some dizzy dice. 12, so it takes 6 points
Okay.
of fire damage.
It does not look happy. That is a fact.
Hey guys, one more thing. Whenever you're, is there any spellcasters in this fight? There isn't, is there?
Just Caelum.
It-
And
like-
Arjan.
Well, Archon's out of spells now.
All right, never mind. I'll bring it up later.
I cast a single spell.
What I'm trying to say is that I have resistance to spells, but you guys also have resistance to spell damage when you're within 10 feet of me. So stay close.
Okay. So as this figure on the back of this winter wolf is getting ready to strike, another arrow streaks out from the woods and plants itself in the neck of the wolf, that then careens downward, kind of spilling this halfling off of the top, and looking over towards the woods where this arrow came from. You see that there is a halfling form that is wearing these very thick leathered cloak. They have a hood kind of pulled up over their head. You can see that they have blue tinted goggles that they're wearing, and the face that you can see kind of has this bundle wrapped up around their nose to kind of keep as much of this warmth to themselves as they can. And in halfling, this figure yells out, "Boren Grovekeld, you leave my daughter alone!" And they go to load another arrow towards this figure, and you see this figure look down towards you, Gwen, look over at the man with the arrow, and they are going to try and leave.
Sorry, I hit the wrong button. I'm so perturbed. Do I get an attack of opportunity?
Yes, you can.
I'm gonna fuck this bitch up. Aw. 13 plus.
Oh, that'll totally
So-
hit.
Okay, cool. And then that's 1d12. That's 11 plus 3. 14 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you strike out against this figure as they are trying to run away, seeing as how their wolf had been brought down. And you manage to put a finishing blow in them, should you so choose.
Yep.
All right, so as your axe sinks into this figure, the hooded figure that had the face mask pulls it down, and you can see that there is a perfectly manicured blonde mustache that kind of curls up towards the sides, as well as a blonde goatee that streaks downward. And the figure takes off of their goggles, and you can see that there are impressions on their face. Deep breath in. It's been a while. And that is where we are going to go into our break for the evening. So I would like to say thank you so much to everybody who decided to stop by and join us for this wonderful session of going into Greenreach's long winter. With that, we are going to try and be back in 5 to 10 minutes, so don't go no place unless it is to grab a food, grab a drink, grab a friend, or possibly go to bit.ly and pick up some of that there adventure merch. You know, today's the last day for it, so consider it before we end up switching fully over to Teespring. With that, we will see you guys shortly. All right, everybody. Bye-bye!
Hey! I love you guys.
Oh.
Hey, I love you guys too.
Hey, I love you guys.
Hey! I love you guys.
Hey, I love you guys. This was great. This was the best way to lead it back in. Can that be a thing? From now on, it was a good time. So, speaking of good times, the wolves and the crazed halflings have all been dealt with. The one that had been called out as Borin Grovekeld, Gwen, you decided to sink your axe into the back of as he was running away. And the figure that had been firing arrows out from the woods ended up revealing themselves. A small humanoid shape with this kind of more birch-colored cloak that they were wearing, just sort of this whitish black to kind of help hide them amongst the snow and the shadows. None other than your papa, as this figure has come out and seems to have addressed you. And as they look at you with their, they have emerald green eyes, says, "Is that any way to look at your old man?"
Gwen's gonna remove her axe, put it on her back, and start walking back to the cart.
You know, a thank you would suffice.
Caelum walks over. Hi, thank you for all of that. My name's Caelum.
Has she been like this for a while? She was such a nice kid.
Gwen was nice. Caelum starts walking back to
Do you know the way to the Waystone?
The what?
The
Waystone?
Waystone. Yes.
Why do you want to go to the Waystone?
All this. We think it's coming from there. Trying to stop it.
Who are you? I know that one, and points at Gwen. But you, and you... New faces?
I introduced myself.
Apologies. You can call me Cori. This is Arjan. You already know Gwen. How long has it been like this? She just kind of gestures to all the snow.
Well, it's been like this ever since that tall fella came to town.
Tall fellow.
Yeah. He called himself a fur bug or something like that.
Was his name Plum?
We called him Fig. Because
I see.
something to do with his staff, I guess. No, he asked specifically about a... Well, he wanted to know where the best view was. He said that this kid Philip told him where it was. so he wanted to see it for himself. We pointed him out. That's when the tree... You know what? It's really kind of dangerous out here still. I could take you back to our house. Get you some soup.
Wait.
My wife makes an incredible bowl of soup. It's the perfect weather out for it.
Are you saying that you think that Fig was responsible for all of this?
Look, I'm saying that it wasn't this way before he arrived. And since he's been here, it's been like this.
Where is he now?
Hopefully fucking dead.
I'm gonna raise her eyebrows at that a little bit. And she's gonna turn around and look at Caelum. And then she's going to say, soup sounds nice.
Caelum is pressing a hand up to like his shoulder. There's a soft glow. Yeah, soup sounds very nice.
All right. I'll lead the way.
I'm sorry, what did you say your name was?
It's Urian.
Urian?
Urian Proudfoot.
It's nice to meet you. And she'll extend a hand to shake.
And he will look at your hand. He'll reach out and just kind of shake it. And then says, well, friend of my daughter, even if she's been gone for a while, is still welcome in the home. Now, come, you look like you're awful tired.
Oh, yeah.
And you see that he is walking not necessarily through the snow, but his wide feet seem to be enough to almost act as snowshoes for on top of the snow to allow him to march.
Your dad's fucking Legolas. He's up in here like shooting arrows and he's walking on top of the snow. You didn't tell me your dad was Legolas. Sorry. All out of character.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna come back and tell me what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Does Gwen look like she's like about to leave?
Gwen went back to the cart and completely ignored him.
Caelum peeks over the side. Hey, Gwen.
What?
Your dad invited us back to your place for soup and rest.
Did you tell him to fuck off?
We accepted.
Why?
He looks back. Cori's fine. He looks at Arjan and then himself. Well, if you haven't noticed, some of us are kind of beat up. And we could kind of use the safe place right now.
We can find an inn.
Not if the roads are like what they are. I can't do another fight.
And depending on how much they upcharge, there's no way we're going to be able to pay.
And if the person we were just fighting was someone that your father knew, how do we know there's going to be an inn actually open?
Look, guys, the only reason I agreed to come up here was because I promised Cori that I would deal with this shit. This, and she like motions to where her father is the one thing I did not want to fucking deal with while I was up here, okay?
Then don't.
Okay, so let's go to a fucking inn.
All right. All right, we'll find an inn.
Gwen goes back to cleaning her blades.
Can someone drive the cart?
I can certainly try.
Okay. So as you go to begin steering the cart, Urian notices that you aren't following him, and he just sort of looks back at you. He has his mask kind of again covering up towards his lower mouth on his nose. He has his goggles on, and he just sort of tilts his head towards you.
Caelum shakes his head. Thanks, but no thanks.
And he just quickly turns his head to the side and just, like, bats the air in between the two of you, almost in a kind of, like, mentality that you've seen Gwen do a multitude of times, and they just seem to turn and then begin walking away through the snow.
I love burning bridges in the morning.
Yeah. Is it even morning?
Nope.
Nope. Cool. Get back on the cart. Drive.
Okay. Make a survival check.
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's not bad. 17.
Surprisingly, you have a better understanding of the bearings of Greenreach than Gwen does. Maybe you studied a map for a while. Maybe you just have an innate understanding of how these kinds of small burrows are formulated. But
It's a grid system.
Yeah, it is kind of like a grid system. It's more of like a centralized promenade, but all the roads lead towards that centralized location. And you find one of these roads, and you begin to go traveling onto it. You have put Cybra inside of the cart, hopefully to try and dissuade her from performing any kind of wolf howls, should she hear them yet again. And it is well into nightfall now, and you see that there is a small halfling town that is on the other, like, you have passed through a set of woods, and upon its clearing, you can see maybe a 15-minute cart ride away is this small town. And your Auroch has just been trudging through the snow. No problem. It does not seem hindered by, like, chest-high snow on its personage at all.
Caelum,
Yeah, it's right over there.
Thanks, Gwen.
I was sort of under the assumption that your parents were non-combatants.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Wait. Are you saying that that's how they were?
Yeah, I don't know why my dad knows how to, or how my bio dad knows how to use a bow and arrow.
Sounds like they've changed.
It's been 20 years, probably.
And you're not the least bit curious.
Nope. She's being very stubborn.
Okay. So, as you all make it into this halfling town, I would like for you to roll perception checks.
All I'm saying is, I don't know what I would give to see my parents right about now.
I just saw my parents, Cori. Like, yesterday.
Right. That's gonna be a 22 for my perception check.
11.
8.
15.
So, Caelum, you're 8. This is just a town. This is fine. Arjan, you said you got an 11? As you're going through this town, you realize that you aren't seeing any markings of traffic through the streets. It looks like the snow has just begun to pile up, but nobody is pushing the snow out of the way. Either everybody is maneuvering over it, much like the figure who revealed themselves as Gwen's father, or there just haven't been people coming through here. Gwen and Cori, what did the two of you get? Both muted.
15.
I am not muted. 22.
Okay, so the 15 and the 22. As the two of you are looking around, Gwen, you are looking out for an inn here. You spot the inn. It is called the Kipper's Keep, and it is you remember it as being famous for a fish and chips style dinner. When you were younger, it was very much it wasn't necessarily directed at halfling children, as it was that they just had a very friendly menu towards children. A lot of fun names, that sort of thing. And Cori, as your 22 is giving you, as you're looking around and you take all of this in, you realize that there is a quiet to this town. Even towns in the depths of the winter waste usually have some sense of life to them. There doesn't seem to be anyone in this town.
She's just kind of like looking around. Oh, and she's gonna reach into her bag and give Caelum the letter that her father had written to him. I'm sorry I didn't give this to you earlier. I completely forgotten.
You know, we had a lot of other things to worry about, so it's fine.
I feel like there should be more people here.
Are any of the
There was
lights
good
on?
light.
No lights are on. All of the windows are dim and frosted. Snowdrifts are kind of up against the door frames to a point where you know that the doors haven't been opened in days, weeks. You aren't sure.
Well, if there's no one in there, we can just, like, squat or something. What?
Brings into question the safety of this resting place.
I mean, we saw a bunch of undead shit, right? Like, those halflings weren't chill. I mean, they were chill, but they weren't, like, okay.
Didn't detect anything fey, fiend, or undead about them, did you, Arjan?
They didn't seem like undead. No, it's definitely fey. I mean, does Arjan have a pretty good idea about the three figures that he saw?
Yes.
I know after the dragon moth, the three hags that both Caelum and I saw.
One of them had a staff, right?
I think so. I was more concerned about the fact that there were three hags, and I know Cori saying these ice wolves are something that she's seen in the Feywild. This is definitely winter.
Cori, this is the first time that you have heard about hags, as you were currently underground when Arjan and Caelum had seen them previous.
Hags?
Yeah, blue face, white hair.
Alright, do I know anything about that?
Make a history or an arcana check.
Oh boy, both are the same!
Did I roll this?
6.
You aren't sure as to their names, but it sounds like hags. Arjan, make a blood hunter bullshit roll.
Blood hunter bullshit.
The 21st skill.
Natural 1 and 11, so that's 11.
In 11, you have heard about hags that do typically live in the Winterlands.
Yeah, I've heard of creatures like this, but I don't remember the names.
Winter wasn't my domain. I'm not familiar with the residents.
I can try and look in the library tonight when we get a rest in.
Can I hear you?
Is that really a good idea?
Well, what other choice do we have? I mean, like, this, if the town is abandoned, then there's no one here, right? So, like, it should be safe.
Caelum air quotes abandoned.
Cori, where's your skull pointing?
Check my skull.
At this point, it is pointing heavily northeast.
That was pointing northwest, now it's pointing northeast.
Yes. It's almost like you guys followed a forested path that may not have had a straight shot through it.
It was pointing northwest?
Yes, but now it
northeast?
seems to have aligned itself northeast.
Which direction was Gwen's father going?
Gwen's father was going west.
Okay. We should take a look around, make sure this place is safe.
Yeah, I got it. Gwen hops off and calls Cybra over to mount up and...
Oh, Cybra is having a fucking blast through this. Have you ever seen a dog experience snow for the first time?
I have a husky. It's like a first time every time.
Just bounding through the snow, almost in a wave-like form of just up, biting at snow. Pops head up, jumps, biting at snow.
We're in
Oh,
the tavern.
I am on
area.
your back. What?
We're in the tavern. We're by the tavern, correct?
That is
what
correct.
Fletching isn't in.
The Kipper's Keep.
Caelum's gonna park it on like a side street with the wagon facing towards the main street. So it kind of obscures Rumble Thunder.
I'm gonna use Divine Sense as I'm just kind of looking around.
Okay. Nothing fires off on your divine sense.
Alright. I'm gonna go into the tavern. Carefully, slowly, cautiously.
I'll get her 6.
Let me clarify one thing though about your divine sense.
I have to have line of sight on it, right?
Yes, but when you divine sense, typically you get a strong sense of Fae from yourself. There is a stronger sense of undeath coming from yourself this time versus previous.
Yeah. Okay. Should have expected that.
So you are heading into the Kipper's Keep. Arjan, you are checking Cori 6, probably crossbow out. This is
Just
very
Leon Kennedying it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It helps that your crossbow is also your source of light for when you're looking. And as you enter into this tavern, it is empty. There is nobody that is behind the bar. You can see that some of the stools are kind of scattered along the ground. Some are broken. There are broken glass bottles that are scattered at the ground nearish the door, or nearish the actual bar itself. And on the left side, kind of creeping up as a 2-tiered flight of stairs, you see that there are other doorways up above. It looks like there are about 4 doorways that could be used, what you're assuming in situations like this, as going towards some kind of bedchamber. As you are entering into this building, there's something that is very abundantly clear to both you, Arjan, and you, Cori. All of these buildings are sized for halflings. Everything feels much smaller and much shorter than you are used to. Instead of ceilings typically going to 8 feet tall, they go to about 6 feet tall. Arjan, you feel very cramped.
Be warm in here. Warm enough.
Cozy.
We're gonna check and make sure
Okay.
that the place is truly abandoned.
Yep. As you check each of the rooms, you find that the beds have been made up like they were ready to be rented out. You two have stayed in your fair share of taverns and temporary stay homes in the during your adventures, and this looks like all except for one room, it looks like they were getting ready to be rented out. And then this last one, it looks like was actually currently being rented when whatever it is happened to this town, to this small thorp of a city.
Well, once we've cleared the tavern, I think Coriander will suggest making sure that just giving a precursory look to the entire town, just make sure that there's nobody here, and then we can set up camp inside the tavern.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Yep, and
You feel like it's safe enough.
wonderful.
Okay. So this abandoned tavern has been made the centralized location for the Four Keeps in Greenreach.
Gwen's doing a lap of the building on Cybra.
Okay. Make a perception check.
I think that's +3. It is 12.
Okay. So with your 12, as you look around on Cybra's back, you do find the remnants of footprints, mostly because walking on top of the snow as halflings honestly isn't as impressive as your dad made it out to be with your friends. That is like a natural fact for the proud feet, is that you are able to do this thing. You purposefully will stomp through the snow on purpose because that is what the Goliaths did. And the way that you figured it was stomp through the snow. Other people have a trail for you to follow. And looking around, you see that there are several sets of footprints that may have been less caring than the proud feet in trying to equalize their level of balance. But they seem to just head off in various directions. You end up finding one of these, what looks like it was meant to be a pike for like a city guard almost, seems to have markings along the tip of the pike like it was being struck by a hammer, and you see that it forms a very right angle.
I will grab it and take it back to the group.
Make an insight check.
Okay. That's not too bad. 17.
With your 17, you remember getting pulled off of the cart. One of these halflings was using a hooked pole arm to try and pull you off. And it seems like this was the beginnings of something similar to that.
I will still take it back.
Okay.
And, walk in the door with Cybra behind me, covered in snow, I'm
Cybra
sure.
just shakes off all of the snow and then looks for the warmest place. Have you guys been making a fire in the meantime?
Caelum has
Sorry,
dragged. He dragged like the tent tarp out of the cart and he's put it up against the windows of the front.
Arjan lights the fire.
Is there a fireplace in the tavern?
Yes, there is. Again, it is a much smaller fireplace than Arjan is used to, but this is a halfling society. Gwen,
I just say Gwen is so everything is way too big for her all the time. This is just like
Gwen, this is one of the first times in about 20 years that you have not had to reach up for a doorknob. It is mid-waist high.
she just is relishing in this moment. And then she's gonna raid the kitchen.
Okay. Make
For
a
booze,
survival check.
food. Oh, good. That's a natural 20.
Bwom, 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 bwom. So, it seems like
It's booze.
scavengers have not actually hit this tavern. It seems like this is very isolated, and because of how cold that it is, a lot of the meats and a lot of the vegetables have basically been in kind of a natural freezer. So everything that is not bread has basically survived based off of this cold alone. The bread is a little weird. It seems like you take a few nibbles of it, you remember it being tasty. And the Kipper's Keep was actually known for more of a a prosciutto bread, like a very flat, very herby style bread. But as you go to take a bite, it is dry. It's almost like chalky breaking up in your mouth. Like no matter how much you spit out, there are always just little bits and pieces of bread that just stay.
She's gonna take a cube of butter and just put it in her mouth. To rinse it out.
It's heavily salted butter, but it works. It's halfling tradition.
Just the way I fucking like it. She'll come out to the rest of the group. All right, are we set? There's nothing really around except for this, and she'll throw down the spear.
What is that?
It's what one of those duders was using up on the wolves.
So they've been here?
Well, I don't know.
What came from here?
Possibly.
Okay.
Normal watches then.
Mm-hmm. All right. Gwen goes to sleep.
Cori helps finish setting up camp, and then she keeps on asking people if it's warm enough for them.
Caelum sits cross-legged by the fire near Cybra and just trances.
Okay. So, yeah, Caelum is trancing. Gwen is just passed out. Arjan?
Cori is also trancing.
I guess I'm
Caelum
keep-
is trancing. Gwen is asleep. Cori is still up. You are still up. Is there anything that you would like to do while it is just you and Cori?
Nah, I'm slapping.
Okay.
All right, Cori will keep watch then, I suppose.
Okay, is there anything that you would like to do on your watch?
Can she see the moon, or is there too much cloud cover?
She would be able to see the moon.
Okay. Cori isn't good at this, but she's going to try praying. And she just wants to see where she stands with Illustrati right now.
Make a religion check.
She's not good at this. 12.
What is the message that you would like to try and convey?
She's basically going to be like, sorry, I messed up. I lost the sword you gave me. I kind of died. Am I still... I will continue to serve you. With or without your blessing. But I would like to know where we stand.
Your message goes out. And you feel the religious equivalent of seen at. You do not get a response, but you know that your message arrived as intended.
Oof. Okay. That's heartbreaking. Alright. Fuck it, I'm gonna talk to all my gods. And or powerful beings. I'm gonna send my wondrous raven to Arask as well. Basically, hey, didn't get a response from you last time. Just wanted to make sure that you're okay. How's it going over there? Buster Brown. I'm saying all of these things out of character, but...
I mean, if you need to fill up 25 words, adding, hey, Buster Brown is a good 3 that you could add.
It's a little more respectful than that. It's a, hey, things are kind of weird for me right now. Didn't really get a response from you. What's going on?
Okay.
So I send that as well. Has it been long enough, do you think, for me to get a response from my dad? Or would it be better to wait?
It would be better to wait at this point.
Okay.
Because you sent Ambleforth off yesterday, and you still aren't sure as to when.
I'm pretty sure it was this morning I sent him.
Yeah.
This has all happened very close together. I'm gonna give it another day or so before I do anything about that. All right, that's what I do.
Okay.
I'm going to talk to all my gods, except for Corlon, because that's not how he do.
Sounds good. Gwen, your rest goes by uneventfully. At par usual. Caelum, what would you like to do?
He looks up from where he stands at the plateau, are there ravens? No. Yes.
There looks like there are over several hundred ravens. And they just seem to be watching. They don't seem to be aggressing. You see some of them kind of furl up with their cockles. And then they just continue to look at you.
Just gonna walk into the library, lock the door behind him, and try to find some books about hags.
Okay.
Specifically the ones we saw earlier.
Make a perception check as well.
I rolled 18 twice, so that's 24.
3 ravens have followed you. They don't seem to be attaching themselves to any books. They are just strictly following you.
Okay. They have it attached. Okay. I'm gonna look for those hag books.
Okay. Make a history or arcana check.
That's so garbo. I rolled a nat 20, but it's actually a 24.
Okay. So with a 24, you are able to find a book. And this book is entitled Volo's Guide to Monsters.
Chucks it across the room. Sorry, wait, no, that's the wrong character.
And as you look at this book, it seems like there are a variety of monsters and monstrous figures that are outlined on the insides of this book. And one of the creatures that is outlined is called a Bwer hag.
Bwer hag, okay.
And you realize that this is a hag that is specifically for cold, Arctic, tundra-style environments. They are not hags necessarily of the forest. They are hags of the ice fields. And the description that is given for these Bwer hags seems to match up pretty well to what you have seen.
Does it come with a stat block?
With a 24, it does not come with a stat block, but you are given general warnings. If you are in a Bwer hag's domain and it does not want you to find it, you will not find it. If you are in a hag's domain and you find yourself in a blizzard, this is the hag's doing. These creatures seem to have a lot more control over their environment than any of their other counterparts.
Great. He'll shut the book and see if the ravens are still by him.
They are up in the rafters. They've just sort of been watching.
I'm gonna use command. And I'm gonna tell them, you should leave. They need to roll me a wisdom check. 14.
One of them.
Great.
A second of them. But the third one just stays. As it's got the blomp blomps. And it looks at you. And you feel like this creature isn't watching you. It is looking directly at you. This raven has begun eye contact with you. And it tilts its head. and clicks its beak a few times. And then you see it kind of hobble along a ledge and then turn and fly away.
I'm gonna pack that later. He's gonna check on Saloon.
Okay. The book still looks incredibly worn and weary. And as you pull the cover over it to kind of place it in this open form, you hear the minuscule sounds of the binding glue on the spine of this book just steadily snapping and creasing. It's still together, but it sounds as if this book is injured.
He's not going to talk to her per se. He's going to pray. Show his dedication to her, going off the words she had said earlier for him to believe.
Make a religion check.
16?
Okay. So with a 16, what is your prayer?
He's just going to tell her that he has all of the faith put in her, that she is his goddess still, and that he really hopes she recovers.
You receive a sense of warmth after your prayer, but that is it.
Gingerly close the book.
And again, you hear that same kind of as the book closes.
And then he will leave the library and lock up after himself.
Okay. And as you lock up after yourself and leave, you see sitting on the portcullis of the library are these three ravens that just kind of look down at you. And you recognize that these are the three that had followed you in initially.
He will turn to face them. If your mistress has anything to say to me, she can tell me herself. She doesn't need my friends to be messengers.
And they just continue to look at you. One of them flies off. Another flies off. And this third one continues to look at you. And then you see it give you a gentle head nod. And then it flies off as well.
4 hours up. Awake.
Okay. Arjan, you are also asleep. And when you find yourself coming to inside of this dream state, you can hear what sounds like small metal buttons being clicked and clacked repeatedly up to what you count as 28 individual times. And then there is a pause, a ding, and then a sliding sound, and then the sound of metal buttons being pressed again. And as you find yourself in this location, it is once again your heart space. You see that there is this stone dais altar. You see that there is this dragon form statue. And next to it, you see that there is a desk that is made out of what appears to be the facsimile of wood, and a metallic tiered box with these metal buttons in front of it that a black Abishai that you recognize as Newell is pecking furiously away at with two of their fingers. Their tiny draconic glasses rest on their wide-brimmed nose, and you see that they have a visor actually on their head as well, and this visor is a translucent green as they are continuing to type. My lord, you've returned.
Oh no.
And you see them grab one end and just slap it to the other side of this metallic box and then begin typing again.
Are you okay?
My lord, I am still alive. That is better than okay. Ding! And then continues typing. I have received messages for you, my lord. One from two through our proper channels from one Philip Spicebottom.
Okay.
First message, and you see Newell stop momentarily, reach over, and read. Arrived at Shroudport. Magic completely outlawed. Not even interrogators remain. Swift sailing. Arborist not seen for months. Awaiting next orders from you. Message for Gwen tomorrow. You were... I tried the last several days to get in contact with you, my liege, but there seemed to have... Well, you seemed busy.
Okay.
The second message, this I'm assuming is for your friend Gwen. Deeply sorry for cowardice. Should have confessed about Owain. Seeking adventure as you have found. Hope to return as a fit companion to Gwen Stompfoot. I don't know what this one means, my lord.
It's fine. I'm sure she's already heard it by now.
Does she also have a sending stone, my lord?
I don't really... Sorry. No. Newell, you seem to be doing like 6 things at once.
Newell raises a singular finger and then brings up their other arm. And you see that they have a mechanical attachment around their wrist. And you see them click several buttons on it. And you see that there is a illusion that is projected above. And from what you are able to read, it says, would you like to clock out for your break? And Newell hits a green button and a check mark appears. And then Newell sits in their chair and just leans back. Yes, my lord.
Newell, is this too much?
Master Arjan, do you have goals? Do you have things that you are in the midst of seeking towards? That you know that if you put in the man hours, you too will experience a release of sorts, a freedom. I am not a man anymore. I am, motions towards self, a servant of our great queen. My freedom will be to serve you once again, and to serve Lord Tarlayan once again. I understand that the Queen Mother has put you in a precarious situation.
And you as well.
So long as I do not die, I will continue to live.
Yeah, but what if this kills you?
My service is finite. Eventually, our Lord will return. There will be no need for me to continue doing this. This has an end. To work towards that end is my goal.
This isn't giving you any doubts about your service to the Queen.
Does it give you doubt, my lord?
It does.
In what ratio? In what aspect does this give you doubt? So long as we do not meet our end, this is a life eternal. To attend one of their shows, the greatest joy, to continue to live and to serve, whether it be directly under the boot of the blue, or whether it is to joyously serve under the hand of the black. This is my desire. This is my want.
Listen, I understand that the aspect that I'm at also has big step on me energy, but you wanted to help her. You wanted to reunite her.
Am I not doing this, my lord?
Yes, and you're being punished for it.
I do not think of it as punishment. I have been given additional responsibility to ensure reunification. My job is the most important, my liege.
Is that what you're doing now?
That is what I was doing 7 minutes ago, and what I will be doing in 8 minutes from now. She is gracious enough to offer us 2 15-minute breaks per day.
And she thinks this is a way to run a company.
Is it not, my lord?
I guess factually it is. I've still been working on our proposition.
And where do you believe you stand, my lord?
I don't know.
We have 3 employees so far, my lord. If you are to incorporate those on the isle with which we are banned.
I don't know.
I have several hours that I do not use for sleeping. Should you so wish, I could recruit.
You'll take care of yourself.
I do not feel ill, my lord. As a devil, I do not tire. I am whole. Am I not being taken care of?
if you think you can handle recruiting, then so be it. I would very much appreciate it.
Are there qualities that you seek, my lord?
Anyone who looks like they'd make a promising adventurer, somebody who wants to protect others.
This I can do, my lord.
And I don't know, I need a way for us to move money around. But I haven't figured that out quite yet.
Is your friend still adverse to the hells?
Which one?
The one who changes.
Yes, all of my friends are still adverse to the hells. Well, the one's actually sort of mad that we didn't take her.
Had I known this would upset a friend of my lord, I would have ensured their travels as well. I may know of ways to transport money. If you are seeking at transferring fiscal currency.
Yes.
Be warned. It would go through the hells.
Which part?
Layer 2, my lord. The layer of Despater. We avoid layer 3 almost on principle. Mammon is strictly too greedy. The interest rates are... It is not worth your time to proceed works through Mammon.
There's no way to bring this closer to the Queen.
Do you wish to do you wish to perform openly, my lord?
Perform openly.
To go so near as to the Queen would be sure to alert others along the first layer of the hells as to your actions. To go several layers down, there would at least be some form of cover.
Very well. Layer 2.
And Newell nods. And then you see them tense up a little bit and then bring their arm up where this metallic device is attached. And they quickly enter in a set of what looks to be 4 individual clicks. And at that, the buzzing that is on their arm ceases. And you see them relax a little bit. As another green check mark appears, and in Infernal you see the phrase "clocked in." I must get back to receptionist duties.
I understand. I'm glad you're okay.
I will be fine. Hell's speed upon you. And then Newell nods to you as well. And then that is when the rest of your rest goes by uneventfully. Gwen, as you are getting ready to take your last watch, there is a clattering at a window. Just a...
Like deliberate knocking?
Make an insight check.
15?
This
Nope,
isn't
12.
This isn't knocking. These are small rocks being thrown at your window.
Gwen's gonna like post herself up next to the window. Is this one of the ones that's covered?
Not by snow, no.
Okay. And she'll kind of like lean her away looking out the window.
And as you are looking out of the window, you hear a and as you look down, you see that there is an arrow sunk into the floorboards next to you that has what appears to be a metallic can attached to it. And the metallic can has a string that is at the end of it. And as you look up and follow the string, there is a small humanoid figure that is sitting on a rooftop, slightly above where you are.
Gwen looks down at the can, looks up at the person. Okay, is this something that Gwen has ever done before?
Make a history check.
Okay. $12.
This is something that you haven't done since you were very young.
She will slowly put the can up to her ear.
I understand why you don't want to come home. But I wanted to be the first to tell you that you have a brother.
Yeah, I know. Problem solved.
I think that's the problem, though, is that there was never a okay, there was a problem. And it's taken me 20 years to have the opportunity to say it, but you were right.
Right about.
Gwen, for 20 years, I have had to deal with the fact that I thought somebody had taken my daughter. And if they were to take my son, I don't know what I would do, so I became better. I wasn't exactly someone who would sink an arrow into anyone else. I didn't want to hurt others. But you spend enough time in the woods hunting animals, eventually, if push comes to shove, halflings are animals too. This winter has not been kind.
What's up with the halflings that were attacking us?
Ever since that furbug came into town, these things have been happening. It was like an infection. Some started to giggle, some started to laugh, others started to entirely... It's been bad.
Yeah, well, we're gonna handle it, so things should get better.
I know you are. I heard the song. I heard the unedited version. Somebody here killed a ghost. And as much as your friends looked appealing, I'll put more stock in my daughter for that.
Thank you for telling me about my brother. Philip already kind of did. He's heading to Shroudport to work for us.
So that's where he went. Much like a certain halfling I know, he didn't exactly say much when he left. Owain wasn't too excited about it, but he has plenty of stories.
Yeah, just tell him I'm off being a tribe leader or something.
I really think that you should tell him yourself. He would love to meet you. He looks up to you, you know?
How?
Just come by for soup. And you'd understand.
Yeah, when all this is settled, we'll see.
Guinevere. I love you very much. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you need any help, you're always more than welcome to come home. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry that we didn't seek you out sooner.
Cool.
And there is no response. And as you follow the cord and look up to the top of the building where the figure was, there is nothing. Just night sky.
She'll put the can outside the window, close the window, go back and sit down.
And as you go back and sit down, that is where we are going to call it for tonight's session. So I would like to say thank you so much to everybody who decided to stop on by and join us for this wonderful adventure in the Four Keeps Advent Part 7. Hey, RJ, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hey everybody, I'm RJ here on the channel, but you can catch me at RJustice282 on Twitter and Twitch, where I tweet about how to care for your nerdy, stupid spellcasters. And also on Twitch, where I'm streaming probably tomorrow, since we don't have a game. No, I have to pack. Maybe after that. You could also catch me on Tuesday, not this week, but next week, as Bartholomew on our romp through Barovia run by the Keener. I'm a ranger, blood hunter, werewolf, dealing with some shit. Catch me over on Sundays with the lovely LBHackEmUp, as we are playing the Cypher system over at Pro Restarter's channel, and I'm also helping out at Open for Adventures channel when I can.
Excellent. LB, where can we find you? What do you do?
Hi, I'm LBHackEmUp. You can find me at LBHackEmUp on Twitter. You can find me on our Discord server a lot.
I was going to push
morning.
the button, but I'm scared.
And Monday, Tuesdays on this channel.
And then every other Friday and every other Sunday at 4, I'm playing games. And every Sunday at 8 with RJ. Super fun times.
And Cyber.
Hi, I'm Cyber. You can find me on Twitter at CyberWolf1201, where I tweet nerdy stuff and shit posts. And sometimes whenever I go live on twitch.tv/CyberWolf1201, where I play video games so badly. I'll talk about lore. I'm going to stream tomorrow. I'm going to finish off Link's Awakening. So, yeah. Because I'm going to be flying back from the wedding on Saturday. All the archives of that go to YouTube, youtube.com/CyberWolf1201, where you can find all those, as well as a podcast that Kyle with an N and I do called Let's Talk About It. New episode just got uploaded yesterday or early this morning. I don't know. I was asleep as fuck when it happened. But yeah, it's got Indoor on it. I may have pointed the wrong way. I don't care. It's we talk about homebrewing content and content creation. It's a good time. It's a long one, but it's a good one. You can also find some D&D Beyond homebrew tutorials, and yeah. But for RPG stuff, you can check out my Patreon, patreon.com/cyberwolf1201, where I wrote a 45-page conversion of Iman Dragon Heist into the Critical Role Tal'Dorei setting. Yeah, it's a good time. It's the game that Osqueef ran, or was run through, and Kyle with an N. So, you know, critter tested, critter approved. But for RPG stuff that I play in, that you can watch and consume, you found the Monday night game, but I'm also on the Thursday night Ghost of Saltmarsh game, where I play Albus, the Kalashtar Bard, Sorcerer, Aboleth, who's going through shit. It's a good time. DanaeKeener.com.
Speaking of DanaeKeener.com, my name's Danae Keener. You can find me at DanaeKeener.com. I do nerdy drawings, mostly related to D&D and things on this channel. I will not be here tomorrow running Curse of Strahd, but I will be here next Tuesday running Curse of Strahd. And I believe we're not going to have 4 keeps next Monday. Nope. So it's 4 keeps this week, Curse of Strahd next week, and then back to regularly scheduled programming the following week. And yeah, it's because I'm getting married or something like that. DanaeKeener.com. Until next time, remember, people can always change, and sometimes it's for the better.
And I'm the showrunner here. If you've made it this far, you probably know who I am. If not, hey fella, what's up? It's me, your buddy, your pal, your friend, the Indoor Adventurer, the showrunner here at twitch.tv/Indoor Adventures. We do the show Monday, Tuesday, and Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, except this week because tomorrow Danae is busy, so no game, and then Thursday I am out of town. Next Monday we will also not have a game because, you guessed it, I am out of town. But the following Tuesday we will have a game, following Thursday we will have a game, so it's good. We have our Patreon set up. So if you are interested in helping support the show, possibly have some questions for us, either the players or myself, then you can feel free to go to patreon.com/Indoor Adventures, and we can hook you up with our after show called Nights in the Courtyard. It is a good time. The easiest way to ask us questions, of course, is by going to our Discord. I swear to God, I only pressed the button once. I'm sorry for the Twitch chat if it ends up exploding. But we are going to be there directly after this. So thank you, everybody who decided to come on by and support the show. Thank you to this wonderful cast for putting up with my bullshit once again this week. And until next time, we will see all of you guys then. All right, everybody. Bye-bye! I did it!
Go as bad as I thought it would.